everyone, this is your instructor Joy. A subscriber asked, what's slow practice? Good question. I know you've heard sooner or later, practice slowly, slow down, do slow practice. In fact, what is that? And also this violinist asks, where do we start? And what tempo, relative to the performance tempo, is the slow practice? And how do we know when and how to progress to the faster tempo, eventually to the actual performance tempo? Good question. We all have to work specific passages so that you can be flawless in performance tempo. How do we know and how slow is a proper slow, and when do I get faster so that I can be in performance tempo? So what's slow practice? Slow practice is, in general, before you start playing slow, well, let me start again. When this piece is completely new, you're starting a complete new piece, and then you can read from beginning to the end, slow tempo, maybe twice or 3 times slower. Whatever it is, slow enough so that you can play all the notes. That's how slow it should be. It will vary on one violinist to the next, but the tempo should be slow enough for you to be able to play all the notes. But let's say you know this piece already. You've been playing this one, and then you were told to do some slow practicing. Then, so play through again and then pinpoint the part that's not as perfect. So, as an example, there's one tune. As you can see, there's let's say there are two parts that I'm not happy with. One part was when I had to shift. So there's a shifting. This shifting I'm not happy with. Okay, that's one part that could need a slow practicing. And another part I was not happy, which was here. Here, my bow was not smooth enough. I did unnecessary accent. It was not evenly toned enough. I did unnecessary accent before. So those two parts were not as good as the rest. So first, identify the problem area, number 1. Then, once you identify the specific spot where it's not as good as the rest, and then analyze what the problem is. Is it a problem with the right hand or left hand? Does it have to do with the intonation? Most likely it's to do with the left hand. Did I hear different noise? Noise or different kind of sound or unnecessary accent? Something probably to do with your right hand. My first spot that I pointed that I was not happy with has to do, you got it, yes, that has to do with the left hand, because I was not happy with it from here, that shifting. So in that case, I would do slow practicing mainly to fix my left hand, to fix the intonation. Then, even though this is already a rather slow tempo piece, I will slow down even more to give myself a little more time so that my shifting has no jerky movement, rather smooth and with a light fingertip. That way I can control my shifting completely. that case, I would just use soft bow, soft sound, because I don't want to make my left hand tense for no reason. Just by playing soft bow, I'm encouraging my left hand to be even more relaxed. And then I do multiple times. That wasn't good. Yeah, and I would just slur. If I feel that it's a little more smooth, then I would do separate bow. So how slower do I do? Slow enough that I can control my left hand. Slow enough tempo that I can be in tune in a relaxed way. That could be twice slower, it could be 10 times slower. It all depends on your technical levels and the piece that you're doing. So, and right now, I would say maybe 2-3 times slower tempo than performance. Notice that I'm ignoring the rhythm completely because I'm focusing on the left hand being in tune. So in this case, rhythm, bow, dynamic does not matter. I'm just focusing my shifting being nice and clean with a relaxed hand. Sorry. Then once it's a little more settled, then try separate bow. Then again. If you feel like, feels like I'm getting it, if you feel like you're slowly getting it, then do bring that one closer to the performance tempo. Notice that I have not tried performance tempo when I was still kind of shaky with intonation. When I can play in tune maybe 2-3 times in a row and feeling kind of relaxed and safe enough or secure enough, then I'm going to try in performance tempo. So now it's time to try in performance tempo, but still with a very soft slurred bow. Yeah, let's try again. And then I tried twice. Once was okay, second time was out of tune. That means I approached my performance tempo too quickly. That's time to go back. Slower again. How slower? Try just tiny bit slower. Don't go all the way back to the slowest that you did. Just tiny bit slower than performance. See if you can fix it. Because you've done very slow practice already. Let's see if you can do a couple more times, if you can make it in tune. Then see if you can try in performance tempo, performance bowing, and see if your left hand exercise worked. That wasn't quite there. Let me try again. That was better. So then it's time that you can try performance tempo. But even then, if you feel like you're making too many mistakes, meaning you play 3 times straight, only one or twice was in tune, but not the third time. That means don't rush into get performance tempo too many times. Then rather a step back. Again, tiny bit slower tempo. Okay, next part that I was not happy has to do with my bow. Here, I did unnecessary accent. I don't like that. I want to fix that. Then it's time to slow down. Since it has to do with my right arm, because the bow was not as controlled as I wished, then you simply ignore your left hand. Just try to do it. Imagine the notes that you're going to play without playing with the left hand, and then play open string. That way you understand, analyze all this right arm movement. The angle of your right arm, the height of your elbow, and the wrist movement, and the finger joints. So it would be la, la, di, la, la. I realize here when I do da, di, da, da, that to be a little more active with my finger joint. That way my bow doesn't fall heavy, because this part is heavier part of the bow, your frog. That way, if I do nothing, it gets heavier. So I am moving my finger joints to tilt the bow a little to make it lighter. This is which I missed earlier. Then you do a couple more times. Now, here I am playing a little slow, but not very slower than performance tempo, because I was able to do that. But if, let's say, if I couldn't do that, then you would just slower. You should use a slower tempo, slow enough that you can control your bow to keep the sound that you have in your head. So watch your bow, observe your arm. Again. Watch your bow, pay attention to your right arm.